the Buzdari Ixos Daur. Zaldrizas Buzdari Ixos Daur. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about a new potential casting for House of the Dragon. Now, I haven't made a House of the Dragon video in a couple of days, so please do me a massive favor and combat YouTube blacklisting my channel. Slap a like on it, like was gonna be 4, and then leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts of what I'm mentioning in this video, and then this is the most important part. Make sure you're subscribed and turn your notifications all the way on. So that way, you'll get an alert every single time I drop a video throughout the Game of Thrones prequel, House of the Dragon, wait for Season 1, as it's called on this channel, The Long Night. And real quick, I actually got a notification from YouTube telling me that most of my recent videos haven't been watched by a lot of my subscribers. So really make sure you turn those notifications all the way on. Let's jump into it. Alright, now I was looking on Twitter and I checked the House of the Dragon hashtag, I checked the Game of Thrones hashtag regularly, and it just so happens that someone that I follows someone else, so a tweet was suggested to me. So I was able to like just randomly see this tweet, and then you look at the account tweeting it and you realize they're kind of legitimate. Someone I follow, Stephen Fry on Twitter, actually follows this account, so that made me think it was video worthy and newsworthy to like announce this. But basically they tweeted out a tweet, and I'm reading directly from my monitor here, but it says, if you missed the live stream online rehearsed reading of King Lear starring the phenomenal David Horowitz as Lear, and who will be appearing in House of the Dragon prequel to Game of Thrones, here's the link. And then they offer like a donations thing. So basically King Lear, which is a play that was written by Shakespeare, was like sort of rehearsed or like they actually did it online. So this tweet is saying like, hey, if you didn't know, David Horowitz is playing King Lear in this place. Make sure you go watch it. Click here. He's also going to be in the House of the Dragon prequel series. Now, when you look at this dude, David Horowitz, he's kind of an older white guy. When you look at his younger pictures and you realize kind of what he looks like on screen, you look at some of like his film roles, he kind of looks like an older version of Daemon, who also looks like Paddy Considine, who also looks like the actress playing Rhaenyra. Obviously, it's a fucking leap, and this is meant to be taken with a grain of salt, because it more than likely could be a load of horse shit, but there's no reason for the UK Actors Support Network to not put out a legitimate tweet. They seem as though their main focus is to support actors from the United Kingdom who were stage actors. Now, this David Horowitz fellow has actually been in a few different things. He was in 102 Dalmatians. Sorry, I have to keep leaning forward. He's also he was in a bunch of shit in the 80s, more so recently, but he's got that, like, I kind of know him, but I don't really know him from something else, and it's going to overshadow his role. Now, all of that aside, I think he's going to be playing the old king, Jaehaerys. We're getting flashbacks. We got the actresses named for Princess Rhaenyra and Queen Alicent as going to be like series regulars for the first season. So that means we're going to get to see the events that pushed the dance into really happening. So if that's the case, then we obviously need to see King Jaehaerys. If we're going back that far, it would be awesome to see Alicent spending the last moments with Jaehaerys, because that's what gives the Greens such a strong claim, and why other people turn coat and side with Alicent and Aegon II, because they're like, not only did Alicent spend the last moments with King Jaehaerys, but also she, like, towards the end of his life, was mistaken for King Jaehaerys' daughter, Sarah. He swore that that was Sarah, who had returned to him from across the narrow sea. So not only did Alicent spend a bunch of time with King Jaehaerys, who's the greatest Targaryen king of all time, but her father, Sir Otto Hightower, was his hand. So these two, hang on, there's a fucking fan going in the background, and I didn't know it. I'll try to edit this part out. Alright, so her father, Otto, also has a really strong claim to, like, have his grandsons take over because they're Targaryen, because they are the sons of Viserys. So when the Greens and the Blacks is decided, and when Viserys dies, and then the dance actually, like, goes into full swing, you kind of have to feel for both sides. Like, obviously, Rhaenyra is Viserys' heir. That's going to be shown on the show. Rhaenyra is a part of all of her father's meetings. The younger actress that's going to be playing Rhaenyra is most likely going to be shown in those scenes with her father, like participating at court. She was known as the Rome's Delight. She was sweet. She was basically everything that, like, the best parts of Daemon and the best parts of Viserys, Rhaenyra was both of those. So it's obviously, it's just second nature to love someone like that, right? So obviously we're all gonna love Rhaenyra and the Blacks. We're gonna love Prince Daemon. But then when you get these flashbacks, that's what's gonna push some people over to the Greens. Like, obviously Alicent and her father, Sir Otto, are cunts for usurping Rhaenyra. But you kind of have to understand that technically there's laws to follow. And when Viserys made Rhaenyra his heir, he broke those laws. And Sir Otto doesn't like Daemon. Obviously, Daemon is married to Princess Rhaenyra, so there's that personal conflict, but they kind of have a point. And when you see how much time they spent with Jaehaerys, when you see how Jaehaerys actually liked Sir Otto, you're gonna sway back and forth. Now, this video wasn't gonna be very long, but I did want to go over King Lear because I hear that a lot. I know it was a Shakespeare play, and I had seen someone in my comment section mention that King Lear is very similar to the Dance of the Dragons. So I'm like, what the fuck? And just from reading a little bit of it, just the first couple of lines, I see that it is. So I'll just go over the synopsis, because it's interesting that this character who's playing King Lear is going to be in this new Game of Thrones prequel series, which is loosely based off of King Lear. So basically it goes, King Lear of Britain, elderly and wanting to retire from the duties of the monarchy, decides to divide his realm among his 3 daughters, declares he will offer the largest share to the one whom he loves most. The eldest, Gonriel, speaks first, declaring her love for her father in fulsome terms. Moved by flattery, Lear proceeds to grant to Gonriel her share as soon as she finished her declaration, before Regan and Cordelia have a chance to speak. So, you know, I could obviously keep fucking going, but basically that's what Alicent does. Like, you know, Viserys doesn't necessarily say, oh, I'm going to leave it up for my children to decide. No, he makes it very clear that he wants Rhaenyra, his eldest daughter, is like, you know, with Rhaenyra's mother, Aemma, they did have sons, but they all died at very, very tiny early stages of life. So Rhaenyra is the true heir, right? Not according to the laws of Westeros. So that's sort of similar to this King Lear play, where basically he's like, look, I'm going to split up my lands to all 3 of y'all, but whichever one of you one I love the most is going to get the most land. So they start doing these things. So it's similar to Rhaenyra, like, you know, calling her father's bannerman who backed her, and then also you have like Alicent saying, well, hang on, my son is a Targaryen, he's the male heir, that's legitimacy, and King Jaehaerys is like you know, I have a connection with. So I think there's a definite massive chance that this David Horovitch fellow is not King Jaehaerys, the greatest king, the old king. But there is a chance that he could be. So, you know, we'll fucking find out. But I want to thank you all so much for watching. If you could please slap me a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe, and then make sure you turn the notifications all the way on. I've already made a few videos for this week. I just decided to put this one out first because it makes more sense. But I want to thank you all so much for watching. My name's Mark. This has been Sir Hunt's Reviews Long Nights.